Aizen has been defeated, and Ichigo is slowly losing his Soul Reaper abilities. But before they fully go away, the team animating Bleach decided to drop one last filler arc for all of us. That being the Gotei 13 Invasion Arc, or the Regai Arc. I've heard it called both things. But it brings up the question, should you watch the Gotei 13 Invasion Arc? 100% yes. While cleaning up after the events at Kageroza, an error in the Precipice World, or the Dangai, is detected, which launches an investigation and eventually leads to the disappearance of many captains and Soul Reapers. Meanwhile, in the world of the living, a naked girl just falls out of the sky named Nozomi, who turns out to be from the Soul Society, but refuses to reveal anything about who she is and how she got there. Following the disappearance of these people and the mysterious appearance of this girl, Nozomi, Ichigo is summoned back to the Soul Society, where he is promptly arrested. This story goes on to follow Kageroza, a scientist who wants revenge against the Soul Society for stopping Project Spearhead, the same and the very project that made mod souls like Kong. To do this, he decides to use Regai, which in the most simplest terms are clones of the people and the captains in the Soul Society. This arc focuses on mod souls, and most specifically their creator, which I am a huge fan of, because Kong really didn't get much love. I mean, he's just a poor perverted mod soul out there who spends all of his time getting stepped on by Rukia. Although let's be honest though, there are worse fates. Okay, jokes aside, this filler arc is jam-packed with action, funny scenarios, and so much more. There's no surprise that people call it the best Bleach filler arc. Now personally, I think that I enjoyed the Zanpakuto Arc just a little bit more, mainly because of just how unique and out there it was and how creative it was. But that's not to say I didn't love this arc, because I most certainly did. The expansion to the Precipice world and the mod souls and just the further immersion into the Bleach world, all of it was fantastic. I mean, we got to see some great fights, there were some funny scenarios all throughout it, and the story alone was pretty good. But to top that all off though, they did so much more with this arc as well. Like for instance, it had a lot of more mature tones throughout the whole thing. Like it really played into Ichigo losing his powers and how that would affect him mentally. And I loved to see that. I mean, he got frustrated, he got really upset. I mean, this is what we would have expected, honestly. And there's this one episode, I'm not gonna say which episode it is, but if I can find a decent picture of it, I'll put it up here. Just look at this atmosphere right here. It was just so, it was so perfect for this scene. Everything looked so down and dreary. You got to kind of feel how Ichigo felt in this situation through just the images that we saw in this anime and this clip right here. I absolutely loved it. I think they did a fantastic job with that. And don't even get me started with where this filler arc takes place, because one of the biggest things I see people talk about with the Zanpakuto arc is where it takes place. It takes place basically in the middle of the Okiura fight. Literally, they introduce the fight, they show the first clash, and then it's like, nah bro, we're just gonna go do something else now. You had to, I feel kind of bad for people who watch that shit live, like as it was airing. Man, you had to wait a long time for that fight. But a lot of these fillers have had awful placement up until now. The Bount Arc was right after the Soul Society arc, considered to be one of the best arcs in Bleach, if not the best. You had the new captain Shusuke Amagai arc coming right after the Grimjaw fight, while he's in the middle of being in Hueco Bro, don't take us out of that. Keep that shit going. And then we had the Zanpakuto arc, which, oh my god, as I already talked about, they showed like the first clash. It was in the middle of all those fights in the Fate Town at Kageroza. Bro, oh my goodness. But at least this one, it was after the defeat of Aizen, and it was honestly, That's a good placement. That's probably the best place you could have put a filler, to be honest. Now, if you think that I'm going to talk about the Gotei 13 arc or the Regai arc without talking about the fight scenes, bro, you dead wrong. There were some absolute banger fight scenes. Not just the last one too. I mean, the last one, I really liked the last fight. It was fantastic in my opinion. I loved it. But there was so much in between. There were some kick-ass fight scenes that we wouldn't have seen in the normal series at all. You got to see Ikaku fighting Kenpachi. You got to see people fighting themselves. Bro, we got to see so many different fights. It was fantastic. Now, I do have to say that saying that the Zanpakuto arc was better it was difficult to come up to that decision, because honestly, depending which day it is, I'll flip back and forth between the two. I love them both. If you're gonna do a filler, these are the two ways you want to do them, because they actually felt like an addition to the story. They were interesting. They were good. They were really good filler arcs. The only thing that's wrong with this last one, the only piece of criticism that I see people say, is that the story was a bit straightforward. But I don't really find people saying that it was bad, just that it was slightly straightforward. And honestly, that's not that big of a deal, to be honest. So, should you watch the Gotei 13 Invasion arc? As I said, 100%. I mean, it was an amazing filler. I loved, the story was great in my opinion. The fight scenes were fantastic. It actually added to the story. All these different things that I've listed out and talked about beforehand. I mean, I could go on, but I don't want to drag this video on for too long. And I will say, I think I like this arc more than the Fullbringer arc. I just felt that this was a little bit better. But you know what? That's a topic for a different video. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Senpai Supreme. Some of the latest videos are going to pop on the screen right now. So go check them out. I got anime reviews, manga reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm sure you will enjoy. But let's go check those out. Click on my channel. Spend some time there. Just takes a few seconds. Now I hope to see you all in the next video. Peace.
Comrade, I've recently heard some quite troubling news. Rumor has it you haven't subscribed to Senpai Supreme. Comrade, tell me this is not true. You have to subscribe right now, or the KGB will find out. Subscribe, comrade, and Mother Russia will be proud of you.